I'm blessed to welcome on the number 137 ranked player in 2020, a four-star, the number 20 overall power forward, and the number 11 player in California. He's one of the star players in the top 10 ranked prolific prep, and he's obviously one of the first commits to Illinois' 2020 recruiting class, which currently ranks number 13, in Coleman Hawkins. What's going on today, bro?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So let's talk right into this. Obviously, you're in the midst of a season playing with prolific. Obviously, you guys are one of the top teams, if not the top team in all the country. Talk about what the season's been like so far.
The season it's been good so far. We've just been missing, like I say, a little bit of trusting each other. We've been playing very well together though, but just missing trust and a lot of defensive things that could made us win all of our games instead of we lost three, but a close, tough three to very good opponents, but just some defensive things and trusting, and that's probably the two main things that's been up with our season this year. But all in all, it's been a great season so far.
No doubt. I think we look at you guys. I mean, obviously, you guys I think, went up to 17-0 when you guys finally lost. But, I mean, you guys obviously lost a lot of injuries in that very first game when you guys lost out there. I mean, obviously, Namari got hurt. You weren't playing. Mawat still
Yeah,
wasn't playing. So, I mean, that's a loss where you take away three stars. It's very hard to win those kind of games. And the other one, just, you guys are starting to get everyone back. There's a full force almost. I mean, having that and clicking is going to be a huge thing.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
And then talk about the last weekend of grind session you guys just played. Talk about what that weekend was like.
This weekend, it started off good. We played all right the first game. I think against Bella Vista, we came out slow, but we usually come out slow. But we came back in the second half playing good. Next game we played Dream City, tough team. We know, we beat them before by a buzzer beater, so of course they would want to come out there and beat us in our own tournament. But we like I said, we came out slow. Normally do that. Came in second half playing good defense, started chipping back, and then last minute or so, they got open layup, open three. So that was a win for them. And then third loss of the season for us. And then last game we played, it was Phoenix Prep. Phoenix Prep is pretty good. We were missing Namari, but we got the win. I thought we played pretty good, shared the ball well. Jalen had like 40, and yeah, I thought we played really well together.
And obviously, yesterday was an emotional game. Obviously, I mean, going
Yeah.
into it, something that a lot of people, obviously in the basketball world, but I think around the world, no matter basketball players, football, or just normal people, obviously embrace. So, talk about what it was like getting ready to prepare in that game and being able to go out there and still play.
It just like the shock. Like I couldn't even get sad over Kobe passing, and I couldn't even imagine how him and everyone else on that helicopter was feeling. But like even as a basketball player, I didn't want to go out there and play. Like there's just like a part of me that was just like, oh gosh, like that's so bad. Like you know, my dad. I have three sisters. I grew up traveling to a basketball game and with three of my sisters, and I'd always go to the basketball games on the weekend. Like no one thinks of going. You're just going to the basketball game, and a tragedy happens, especially with one of the greatest players to ever play the game, that changed the game, that inspired so many people. So it was just like shocking for me, my family, for everyone, and it to me, yeah, it was hard to like just even have like the confidence, the energy to go out there and play, but we got it done. Jalen wore his Kobe's, dropped 40. Jordan Pope's a huge Kobe fan, but we all got the job done. So it was good to get the win, but it's just sad to think about how Kobe's gone.
Without a doubt. I think what you touched up on there is so key because, I mean, obviously, no, we don't travel in helicopters to our games. At least most people don't. But
Yeah,
just the fact that you said it was just an occasional game. I mean, just what they do pretty much every week, and that all high school players really do. Just heading to a game, AAU basketball, and something like a tragedy like that happens. Why I think so many people could relate to that because so many people are on the weekends, are on a daily day basis going to practices or games.
yeah. Just like I was saying, my dad, we grew up with him. My mom sacrificing their time to take us somewhere, and then for for us to just like even think about that, like I could never imagine that happening in my family. That's horrible. So
hmm Without a doubt. So I mean, let's talk about your family too. I mean, you guys are come from a very rich basketball background. I mean, your dad played at San Diego State. Obviously, your sister played at Evansville. Talk about what it's been like growing up in a basketball family.
It's been great. Just seeing all my sisters go through high school. They went to Antelope High School. I went there for 2 years. All of them went there. They made history there. Uh, Two of them are in the Hall of Fame there. One of my sisters hold almost all the records. They basically started that Antelope program. My sister Taylor was the first graduating class there. It opened up in 2008, I believe, and she graduated and opened up. I don't remember the exact year, but she graduated in like 2011, I think it was. But
Hmm.
they basically started that whole program. I got to see it all. My sisters hold all the records and everything. Got to see them play for section titles, all that. And then going to that school, living up to their legacy, and then being good enough to put myself in a position where I can move out of Sacramento and sacrifice everything for the game of basketball, come to Prolific Prep, and then I'm starting to, embrace the role, taking over that basketball spot and being able to commit and sign like they were able to do, which is it's a great feeling. And then also I have a great uncle that played in the NBA, went to Notre Dame, Tommy Hawkins, living up to that, and then my dad, and I'm just super proud and happy for what I'm doing and with the last name of Hawkins and representing them. So it's great to represent.
Having such a rich family background and being able to live up to that is a huge thing. And just seeing the way you can have role models and all that. But one thing you talked about there was obviously you put yourself in a position, obviously, to go play at Prolific. And that's a prep level that I think it's a really big platform that people are starting to embrace now, where you get to travel across the country and you get to go play at a high level. So what is
Yeah.
that like? What went into that decision originally to go transfer to Prolific?
Well, my sophomore year at Antelope, I was on a team with a lot of seniors, and I was I was a sophomore. There's a lot of seniors, so playing on varsity, it wasn't tough, but it was just like connecting with the seniors and playing with them. It was kind of tough, but actually a media outlet called Cali Hoop came to a game once to record me, and I didn't really get to the ball. I didn't really get to shoot a lot of shots, and he was just like upset. So he went on like a little rant on Twitter saying like you got this 6'8" kid out here trying to hoop, and you got the seniors trying to shine and everything, just like going on a little rant. And then he's like, this kid really needs to consider Prolific Prep. And I was like, Prolific Prep? What? Like I heard very like little about it. I know Jordan Brown went there. Jordan Brown's school is like 5 minutes away from Antelope, his old school, Wood Creek. But I didn't even know where Napa was. I was like, Prolific Prep? Nah. So they hit me up on Twitter, and then I told my dad, and then he was like, well, you should really consider it. And then I was like, I was thinking about it. I came to a workout in the spring, and I liked all the players, and I knew Namari because of Dream Vision. That was a year I played for Dream Vision, but I considered it, and then uh, next fall I was enrolled at Prolific Prep. So it was kind of like a last minute thing, actually, to be honest. Like in the summer, I didn't know I was gonna go there, but we made it happen. And yeah, in fall I was enrolled there and playing, so it's kind of cool.
That's awesome. And I think a lot of people look at players that transfer out of high school. I mean, a lot of people like to stay traditional and stay at high schools, but they don't look at the what's really happened at the place. I mean, obviously it's hard to maybe utilize a player that's like that and putting it against a higher level that knows how to play and use top players in the country is obviously a lot beneficial for you as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a lot of people. Anyone can stay in high school and average 30 points a game, and it'll do nothing for them. You
Hmm.
know, I look at it as I already moved out of Sacramento. I made it out of Sacramento. Basically, that's how I look at it. I sacrificed everything in high school to come live with strangers. Build a bond with them, and come work with my teammates every day. Play against the best competition in the country. And traveling everywhere. But like I said, people really don't know how to become winners in regular high school basketball. You could go and have 40 points. If I was at Antelope right now, I could be having 40 points, breaking all these records, but it would do nothing for me. I wouldn't be a winner. Dudes can average 40 points and still have a 9-20 record. It
Mm.
doesn't do anything for them. So coming to Prolific, it's really showed me the real game of basketball, how to win, and just a whole bunch of off the court stuff too. Just becoming a better person, and just, yeah, it's helped a whole bunch. A lot of sacrifices,
Exactly.
but it's helped a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm. And I think, like I said, I mean, you look at it, going to Prolific, you put yourself in a position that honestly looks a lot like what it could look like in the NBA. I mean, obviously, people can look at that. You're ranked 137, whatever. I think, obviously, a lot of people see you as potentially going to the NBA eventually. But you look at, I mean, we see Jalen being a superstar now, and I can imagine he's going to be a superstar for many years to come. And same thing with
Yeah,
Namar. He's going to be a really good NBA player. And Frank, I mean, you guys got a lot of talent. So you being able to fit in a role, averaging double-digit numbers, getting a lot of rebounds, playing defense like you do obviously facilitates and people can look at that as, hey, he can go play at this level in a role that we see him playing for sure in college and probably even down the road at the NBA.
yeah. Like I said, it's really about being a winner and winning a winning character. Jalen is one of the 5 stars that I've played with that I could say I love playing with because he's a winner. He knows how to win. He has good character. He's never negative. He passes the ball. He's a great player to play with. So just being a winner and just that's what it's really taught me to be coming here to Prolific.
Mm-hmm. Let's touch up a little bit on Jalen. I mean, I think obviously now he's replaced Evan Mobley as the number one player on ESPN. And I mean, we see what he can do. I mean, we know he's one of the most electric players in the country, regardless of class. But I think one thing that a lot of people, the biggest question mark about him heading into this year was obviously how much focus is he on basketball all the time and is it about media. And I think he's completely turned that down where we see him 100% all in on basketball. And obviously that's why he's portrayed doing what he's doing this year.
Yeah. Um, just just he's really I think focused on more than high school, but I think it's in a good way. Like he could easily have 40 points a game, but he distributes the ball. He makes sure that everyone gets a shot. He'll tell me he'll be like, yo, we got to get you going. He'll come up to Jordan and be like, yo, you got to shoot the ball. Like he's just like one of the 5 stars that I say like I played with 5 stars, and really it's not fun, but like he makes it more fun. He brings all the media to our games. He's brought, I started the season with like 3,000 followers. Now everybody knows who I am. So he brings a whole bunch of stuff to the table that's just like super positive, and I really can't complain about Jalen. Jalen's really cool to play with.
Absolutely. And that's something too, like you just said, I mean, him having the media presence is something that getting that at such a young age like he was able to get is something that's not easy to deal with. I mean, we see a lot of players fall off because they're so popular in the beginning. It's super hard to sustain that for 4 or 5 years. It's something for him to be able to do that and not only sustain it, but he's got better each year. It's a huge accomplishment and huge testament to him.
Yeah, and I salute him too because he could be at San Joaquin Memorial averaging like 60 right now. But he came here, made sacrifices, and he's still hooping. Everybody loves him, and he proved why he should be the number one spot.
Absolutely. And so now for you, I mean, obviously you're alongside, we talked about multiple D1 players. I mean, obviously Mawat's going college. We know Namari. We know Jalen's going to go eventually, whatever the route he might take. But you're playing alongside a lot of these guys. So talk about what it's like seeing and knowing these bonds and these friendships you have, getting ready to go play in college with you next year.
Yeah, it's just like the guy's characters. Like everyone gets along. Like there's never anything negative. We're always competing in practice. Everyone brings out a competitive side, so it's just great to be around them. Uh, like I was saying, in regular high school, you don't really get that. If you're the best player, I'm 6'10", I'd be a 6'10" center, but at Prolific, I'm a 6'10" guard, facilitating the floor, bringing the ball up, doing different stuff like that. So we all fit in, we all get along, we all compete, and everyone just like has a bond together. Everyone's wanting to get better. Everyone wants to see each other do good. So it's great to be out here with all these other Division I athletes soon to be, and yeah, it's just great to be out here.
Absolutely. Now heading into college this next year, Obviously, it's going to be an awesome thing getting to go home. But to talk about the relationships, obviously, we just talked about the guys at Prolific, but you've also had guys playing through AAU, Dream Vision, and just camps you've been a part of. So talk about what it's like seeing some of your close friends also commit now and be able to go live out the same dream you are.
Yeah, because Will McClendon, he just committed. Dude, he's from SAC. I've been knowing Will since like first grade. Devin Askew, we've been playing each other since like first grade. He's from SAC. Issa Silva's blown up. He's from SAC. Like all these SAC guys, Jabri, I've known Jabri since like third grade. He's committed to Virginia. So like it's so crazy how things work out and how the basketball community can relate and come together. And I've made so many friends. Dominic Harris, one of my good friends, going to Gonzaga. Like it's just crazy how the basketball world can just like bring people together and I'm sure like everyone wants to see each other shine and go to college and do great things. And I feel like these up and coming classes, 2020 and 2021, they're just really tough classes. And going to college, it's going to be great and just compete against all these people that I've been playing against for so long and finally seeing where we're coming. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. So now let's talk about your decision. I mean, you obviously are going home, you're going to Illinois. Talk about what it's like being able to go out there.
It's great knowing that all the stress is off in the recruiting process. I'm signed and I'm going to be out there to a great team. They're killing right now. And knowing I have family in Chicago, not too far from Champaign, it's just like a whole bunch of stress off my shoulders, and it's really a blessing too. I feel like I picked the right spot. I was up there with San Diego State. It was really San Diego State and Illinois, but I picked Illinois. They really don't have anyone who's like me. So, and the characters on that team and the coaching staff, it's great. So I just feel like I can't wait to get to college. To be honest, it's gonna be so fun.
Absolutely. And you just talk about the coaching staff. I mean, obviously, Coach Underwood, he's raved about you multiple times, especially when you went out there and you and Mario were able to go home and play out there. But he came in, he talked about your game and the way he's going to utilize you next year. So talk about what your guys' relationship is like.
Our relationship is cool. They've been recruiting me since like summer of sophomore year, before I even went to Prolific. So I've known Chin. Chin knew my family because he's from Chicago. But Coach Underwood is just super cool. I like his aggressiveness when he coaches. It doesn't bother me one bit. I went to practice and he's yelling and all that, and it was an open practice too, so he's doing that in front of everybody. So it doesn't bother me one bit. I can't wait to get out there. And like I said, they really don't have anyone like me. So being able to space the floor for them, and I can guard several positions and facilitate, get the ball into Kofi, take some stress off of him, be able to score. They're definitely missing some scoring components, but and then being there with Andre and Adam, that's going to be great too, because they might lose Io to the league. You never know. So just having them there, and then I feel like we're going to be rolling next year. I feel like we're going to be super good.
I mean, obviously they moved up to the rankings. Not a lot of people saw them as being a legit team this year. I mean, they're obviously already making a statement, and like you said, you guys had the number 13 recruiting class. I mean, you guys are bringing in Adam, which I think is he's a top 30 player easily. Anyone who doesn't have him in there is ridiculous, but him, and obviously we've seen what Andre can do as well. I mean, talk about what you guys and your guys' bond is like.
Me and Andre talk usually more than Adam, but I let Adam do his own thing. I'm sure me and Adam are gonna connect easy because I usually get along with everybody when I meet them in person and everything. But me and Andre just talk about what Illinois is missing right now and what we can bring to the table for next year. That's about it. But we have each other on Snapchat and Instagram. We follow each other and we talk sometimes. But it's just cool that I committed and then they committed, and now we have the 13th recruiting class in the nation. Honestly, I feel like we should be even more up there, but it's going to be exciting. We're going to be really good.
No doubt. So I think always being the first piece of a recruiting class is something that kind of is a test for you. I mean, obviously it's the first person to commit. So what was that feeling like knowing, okay, you're going to go in as the one first guy and who else is going to come in?
Yeah, they told me who their recruits were, and uh, I did my visit, and on the spot I was like, yeah, this is the place for me. I told my dad I don't think there's anywhere else I can see myself going. I wanted to do some visits, but I was at the same time I was like, nah, this I think this is the place. So I committed, and everyone was so happy for me. And then they called me and they're like, I think we're gonna get these two players. And I was like, that's even more great. I heard the news about Andre. He came and I was like, oh yes, it's all playing out. And then Adam committed, and like it's just like it's so like stress relieving too, and just so exciting that these are the guys you're going to be playing with next year. And I'm just so excited to get out there and start playing and get stronger, more physical, get faster, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for us.
Without a doubt, like you said, I mean, just being able to kind of feel that embrace and be able to know that that's the right place. I mean, whenever God kind of gives you that feeling that this is the right place, I mean, it kind of might be a little hard at the moment to say, well, maybe these options are great too, but if you know it's the right place, there's no other reason to go anywhere else.
Yeah, for sure.
hmm And so a couple of the schools you might have had visits with were someone like Marquette, USC. Talk about what those schools did bring that you were kind of interested in.
Well, Marquette, I did an unofficial visit there, and the practice was just so intense. The guys worked so hard. Their ethics were crazy. The guys were just working so hard. And then USC is just I know who they can bring in, who they are going to bring in. The Pac-12, it's an okay conference. It's nothing like the Big Ten though.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's nothing like the Big Ten, but um, USC is just USC. Like USC's always been great. It's always going to be known for being good. And I was going to do my visit there, but they got another recruit, they said, so they didn't let me come on my visit. Same thing with Marquette, but it's all good. I found the home for me, so I found Illinois, and they're doing better than both those teams right now. So yeah.
hmm No doubt. And so when you first get embraced, I mean, who are some of the players on the team right now that you really create a connection with that you enjoyed when you won the visit?
Uh, Definitely Kofi. Kofi's a funny character. Georgie's a crazy. He's crazy. He's super funny. Just about the whole team, man. It was just the whole team was funny as heck. They all, I could tell they all wanted me there. They weren't stale. They weren't upset that I was there. They weren't jealous at all. They were just showing me a good time. IO was really cool. IO's from Chicago. I have family in Chicago. My dad is from Chicago, so they were chopping it up. And then just just about everyone, I was with them the whole time, and it was just great to be out there. And then I like on some visits, like we'd be walking around and like no one would even know who the players are, but at Illinois, everybody's running up to you. Everyone wants to say something to you. There's tons of fans. The fans are crazy. So it was great to be out there.
And for those that obviously don't know your character, I mean, you obviously always are someone that is energetic. You enjoy it. Yeah, you like having fun. Let's say that. And
Yeah.
so being able to be around guys that also show the same characteristics are big time.
Yeah, for sure. Just feeling comfortable too. I'd never want to be in a place where I don't feel comfortable, where I can get out my shell. Just feeling comfortable. That's a big important part. Yeah.
hmm And I know you must have been feeling comfortable, obviously, when you had the play, and obviously Namari stole the ball from Isaiah Todd, and you dunked in. You had a celebration. Talk about what went through your mind when you decided to do that.
I really don't know what's going through my mind. He did it to my teammate first, so I knew I had to get him back. He did it to my teammate, so I got him back. Sadly, I got a tech though. It was stupid, so I had to sit out like the rest of the quarter. My coach was super mad, but it did go viral. So at the end of the day, I wasn't that upset. We got the win too, but yeah, I just did it to get him back because he did it to my teammate first, but they never posted it.
Awesome. But so what's some of the other moves? I mean, obviously you do a lot of funny stuff before, but talk about what's some of your favorite or funnest moments so far in your basketball career?
Most fun. I don't know. It's just always. I always try to make fun of like everything. Like I hate when people are too serious. Like it's just. But I'd say one of the the most memorable moments was last year when we beat Spire. That was great. That was crazy in Ohio. Sold out crowd. First loss of their season, giving them their first loss, and then by a big margin too. And then Namari's half-court buzzer beater this year. And then playing on ESPN both those times. So I like the one in Boston. That game was pretty lit too. Yeah, I try to make the most fun out of every tournament we go on, though, or game we play. Anywhere we go, I try to have fun. So yeah.
Absolutely. So who would you say in the basketball world are some of your closest guys, or the guys that you've been along with the longest?
Definitely Will McClendon. Will McClendon, I've been knowing him since forever. Will McClendon, point guard from Bishop Gorman, UCLA commit. Shout out to him. Dominic Harris, played Dream Vision my first year with him on our 16s, and then the second year I played with him. Now I'm super cool, super funny. We get along. Isaiah Cottrell, me and him are super cool. Yeah, I'm cool with just about everybody. Anybody wants to be cool, but those are some of the top three guys. And then Frankie, I've known Frankie forever. He's a 916er from Sacramento. Just about everyone, man. I get along with everyone.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And so obviously now when your obviously goal eventually is to go to the NBA. So talk about really where do you see your goal and how are you going to get to that point?
I really just being able to be different and be the size that I am, do the stuff that I can do. I think that's really where I can separate myself. So working on different things that a normal 6'10" four-man doesn't do, just facilitating, bringing the ball up, doing different things like that. And I think being in the position at Illinois where I can help my team and really showcase what I can do, because honestly, I feel like a lot of people are sleeping. So when I get to college and they're playing me and I'm playing, people are going to start waking up, and then hopefully that can lead to the NBA one day.
Mm-hmm. I know you and I both talked about that, but rankings aren't always accurate. I mean, very rarely the rankings are never exactly the way they are eventually then a year after the draft. And seeing a play like you said, you're 6'10", there's nothing on the court you can't do. I mean, I guess you're ranked 137, somewhere between there for all the rankings, but when you go into the college field, I mean, there's not many people that can stay with your height and stay with your ability, which will be an interesting thing to see how you pan out there.
Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
And before I let you go, I was wrapping up with a couple of different questions. The first one being, who in your life would you say has been your biggest role model?
Biggest role model, I say, off the court, my dad. He gives me great advice. He plays the game. He played the game. He knows the game, and he gives me a ton of advice that really not a lot of parents can give, because not a lot of these parents nowadays have played, and some of them are kind of crazy and the things that they put their kids through and the decisions that they make. But definitely probably my dad.
Mm-hmm. I mean, definitely having a family that supports your dream and really wants to make sure you get to the point you want is a huge blessing.
Yeah, for sure. For
Mm-hmm.
sure.
And my last question I was wrapping up with is, how would you say God has helped get you to the point you're at today?
Just blessing me with the opportunity to even play the game, and the people that I've met, the coaches that I've met, and like I was saying, my parents, Philippe, our director, he says I hit the lottery with my parents. If it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't be here, and the sacrifices they've made, and God blessing me with what I can do, and the teams and situations he's put me in, it's been a blessing so far. I can't say anything negative about my basketball career.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, he always puts people through the highs and the lows, but he's always there, and just have following the path that he wants in store for each one of us is always an awesome thing to see how it turns out.
Yeah, it's crazy how this basketball stuff works. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whatever, appreciate you taking time to come on today, my guy. Obviously, keep doing your thing, prolific, and I'll be rooting for you at Illinois from there on out.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it for sure.
No problem, bro. God bless.
Yeah, you too.